Good morning from Chicago. Warmest regards from Dano's garden. It's been raining here and it's really lovely, and I love overcast days because I think the colors of the garden are much more subtle and everything seems more alive. You can see here I got a little Kuan Yin on my picnic table, and I just repotted this huge mother-in-law's tongue that I've had for countless years. It's gotten very, very large and very heavy, but it took to the repotting quite nicely. But just sort of take a look around the yard, see what's going on. We added some caladiums to the garden. Here's a beautiful calla lily that's still blooming. Let's look over here. Here we have a walking iris. It's just lovely. I got that as a cutting when I was in New Orleans. It's actually a flower from the rainforest of South America, and it's called a walking iris. It does quite nicely here in a pot. I have to bring it in during the winter. Here's that rosemary plant doing so beautiful. Here's that beautiful papaya. No fruit yet, but it's beautiful. Let's just take a look. It's really lovely. Here's some lovely red beans with beautiful lime green chartreuse leaves with a backdrop of pansies. Lovely pansies, still blooming. And here's our beans growing up our stairway handrail. I'll be picking beans from that, and a few handfuls will be in our meals. It's really lovely. The oleander is still blooming quite beautiful, as are the marigolds all over the yard. This is the time of the black-eyed Susans as well. They're really, really beautiful. And even though it's a bit shady here, they do quite well. Let's take a look back in the herb garden. It is such a joy to be in this garden. There's our buddy, our outdoor cat. He's supposed to be taking care of the squirrels. We have a second flourish of feverfew blooming all over the yard. It's really quite lovely. And feverfew is a wonderful herb to cleanse out the system and relieves one of headaches. Here's our other cat, Rascal, and that's his name. Trust me, it is the right name for this cat. Okay, here we have some sage doing beautifully. I'm going to harvest it soon. This is not a good day to harvest it, but on a nice drier morning I will do that. Here is, I just love the anisyssum. It has made some lovely teas that I'm just so pleased with. So delicious. You can hear my whole patch of Italian parsley with some other herbs mixed in. It looks like I'm going to have a lot more anisyssum next year, which is fine. I'll be able to dry quite a bit of it for winter use. Here's my pineapple sage. I don't know why it's called the pineapple sage. I'm hoping it has a flower of some sort because it's a very large plant taking up space in the garden. But it is lovely. I'm hoping to learn more about this particular herb. And here we have catnip and lavender and mint and feverfew and oregano and thyme and more Italian parsley, which I just love. I eat it every day. It's some basil, and you can see the cucumbers have gotten quite tall. We are harvesting cucumbers. We are harvesting beans from back here. It's really lovely. Here we have some basil, a lovely herb we use all the time. Garlic chives, a lovely addition to salads and potatoes and other things, very good. Yarrow, very good herb. I make tea from it. The flowers are blooming, so I think I will harvest some of it to dry out. But I don't have a lot yet, so I don't always harvest everything when I only have just a bit. The lemon balm is just wonderful. I've been making tea out of it every few days. It's so lovely tea. The lovage is great. I've been adding it to things. It's doing really well. It's a lovely herb that has the flavor of celery and parsley. It's an Eastern European herb, great for soups and stews. Also salads. I made a stir fry the other day of fresh vegetables and squash and beans, and I added some chopped lovage to it. It was delightful. I finally figured out what this plant was that I grew from a stick. It is a Rosier dogwood. And the robins are having a lovely time coming in and harvesting the berries, which they seem to love. I harvested a lot of currants yesterday. There's still some currants left, and I'm going to be harvesting those and freezing them. I eat a lot of them as I go. Freezing them for scones in the winter. So let's take a look around here. Hope I'm not jumping around too much. You can see some of the sweet, the clematis is still blooming, the jackmani. Here's the sweet autumn clematis, which I have to trim constantly. Otherwise, it would just take over everything. It's an enormous vine, but it will be quite lovely this fall. I just love these marigolds. These are natural marigolds, wild ones, and they are just delightful. I usually pull them out, but this year I let them grow. And I just decided that's a good thing. It's a good thing. They're beautiful. Although they do take over and you have to be careful and you can't keep them all. Here's more basil and holy basil. And here's our avocado tree. Here we have this lovely red bean, and there's a bumblebee up there getting some nectar. Good for him. Pollinating. Let's take a little look over here. The other part of the garden. If you've been following my garden, you'll remember that this was full of absolutely beautiful lilies. And the lilies are done flowering, and other plants are taking their place. The fleabane is still doing beautiful. I love this plant. It's not a weed. It's absolutely breathtaking. And it blooms like this till fall. Although I will be having to pick up, thin out their babies next year. She sends them everywhere. But she's as pretty as any perennial or baby's breath I've seen. We have a few tiger lilies around the yard. You have to keep up with them because they will spread and be everywhere. But they're perfect. They're the early August bloomers, which is great. July was the other lilies. This is their time. The black-eyed Susans and the tiger lilies. And here we have some beautiful, beautiful flower box full of the wild marigolds that I had harvested earlier last fall, saved the seeds over the winter, and planted them all over the place. And they're doing just great, but they do drink a lot of water. So I do have to frequently keep them watered. They're just real drinkers of water. You can see that the sunflower is now fading and going to seed. It's a lovely plant. The summer phlox, this is their time, August, to bloom. I pinched them all back this year, much like twice, and I really like the effect. They're not so tall and lanky. Now the ones in the back I didn't pinch, but the ones in the front I did, and they're not falling over like they usually do. Oh, this is not a weed. It is a beautiful plant. I love looking out the window and seeing it in the morning. Okay, we're going to end here. This is a little bit longer than I thought. I wish you all well. May you walk in beauty. May you know serenity and peace. May you have the wisdom you need for the day, all the bread and understanding you need for this day. May you have the courage to change the things in your life that you need to change, and you have the serenity to accept the things you cannot change. May you be the medicine that the world needs, and remember, you are the one you've been waiting for. So it's time to take action and fulfill the vision in your heart. Blessings on your journey. May you be safe, may you be well, and may you be at peace. Warmest regards from Chicago.